Sports Talk.
That really shows what happened.
If you came to prove, there's no reason to prove.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
And now you've got yourself something funky.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
And welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am the host of today's show, Michael Buckhoster. I'm joined, as always, with my champion in crime here, Billy Hatton. Billy, how you doing today, man?
Doing all right. Bright and early this morning over in gloomy El Paso. It looks like we're probably going to get some rain today. That's big out here in the desert.
And
A little bit too dry.
And the weather update on the 8s is brought to you by Unpopular Opinion with host Grant Hefe himself and co-host OG.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. So, Billy, championship weekend is here. AFC Championship, NFC Championship. We have basically games that we all kind of thought it was going to be back in Week 6, Week 7, Week 8, Week 9. Then we all kind of stumble like, well, maybe not. Maybe these teams aren't quite what we thought they were. But playoffs proved to we thought who they thought they were, right? So the first game of the championship weekend is you have the LA Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints, Billy. So before we get into the game picks here, who do you think is an X factor for this game? Who is going to make or break a team?
I think it's going to be Todd Gurley. You know, I think Todd Gurley is essential to this running game. Yeah, we talked about C.J. Anderson, what C.J. Anderson has done over the last 3 games since he's been a Los Angeles Rams, 140 yards per game for C.J. Anderson. But I think in order for them to win, I think Todd Gurley have to be Todd Gurley. I expect Todd Gurley to have a big day. Sheldon Rankins is out. They're run stopper. So moving the ball on the ground should be essential. Moving the ball on the ground should be easy for the LA Rams. So I'm looking for Todd Gurley to have a big game today.
So I definitely hear what you're saying about that Rams offensive game on the ground, and like I was going to go that way as well. But more I think about it, I think it is on the other side of the ball, the same team, and like I'm gonna basically put it on Marcus Peters and Aqib, how you say his name, on Sunday afternoon. I think if those two guys can shut down the passing game for the Saints, I think the front 4 or front 7 of the Rams can shut down the Saints game on the ground very effectively. So it is definitely going to fall on Marcus Peters' shoulders, Aqib Talib's shoulders as well. Me and I know we're only going to pick one X factor, but those two guys have to lock down Michael Thomas for the Saints and that underneath stuff that the Saints want to run as well. So that's who I want to pick as X factors on the like on the game. But you are absolutely correct too. If Todd Gurley has a big game like he did against the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think the Saints can match that attack on the ground, power for power type thing.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. I mean, you know, the Saints have their own two-headed monster as well, who is no slouch either, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. So I look for them guys to also have a big day. I think everybody's going to – I think, honestly, you know, I know we picked one X factor, Mike, but I think this game is going to depend on so many people to win this game. This is not just going to be a one-person, you know, affair. I think it's going to be, in order for any team to win, whether it's the Rams, whether it's the Saints, I think they're going to need all hands on deck for this game because this game will not be easy. Obviously, the top 2 scoring offenses in the NFL. Both defenses will be challenged. So I think it's going to be all hands on deck for sure.
Yeah. So before we get to our game picks here, let's think beyond this season. As you kind of alluded to the two-headed monster in the backfield for both teams moving forward in the season of 2019-2020. What two-headed monster would you rather have?
Oh, for sure, no doubt. Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. You know, yeah, CJ, what he's done is nice. CJ Anderson, you know, even when he was in Denver, he was a really good back. But let's be honest, lack of preparation for CJ Anderson is also what's helping him here. You know,
that's a
not
great
saying
point.
He probably wouldn't get it. You know, if he was there all year and they knew that he was there, they could plan to stop it. I'm not saying that because I don't know. But what I'm saying is when you come on the team week 16, nobody's really expecting you to do anything. They just think that, you just a filler for Todd Gurley. And I'm sure the Rams thought, let's just go get a filler
Right.
for Todd Gurley, you know, for a game or two. And nobody has expected this out of C.J. Anderson. Like I say, this guy's averaging over 140 yards a game, you know. So going forward, I want the two guys that's done it for 2 straight seasons together. So give me Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram.
Yeah, and I kind of got to echo what you said there. I believe C.J. Anderson kind of had that Lamar Jackson effect. Yeah, he was great for those 7-8 games that he played, but next year he is just going to be another average quarterback. And I think when teams have a chance to prepare for C.J. Anderson, which the Saints have had all week to prepare, just maybe C.J. Anderson comes crashing back down to earth here. But that is a story for another day here. So before we move on to the next game, Billy, who do you have winning this game and why?
I've been going back and forth with this game, you know, and one moment I picked the Rams, one moment I picked the Saints. I look at it like, well, Peyton and Breeze are 6-0 together in the dome in the playoffs. They haven't lost. But I also look at how stagnant that offense has been since about week 10 or 11. It just hasn't been the same type offense. And then I go over there and look at the Rams, and I don't know which Rams team I'm going to get. I don't know which Jared Goff I'm going to get. I don't know which Ndamukong Suh or Keith Talib or Marcus Peters I'm going to get, or LaMarcus Joyner. So it's been tough for me to pick this game, but I'm going to go with the Saints. They're the home team. They should have the advantage here. As I just stated, they are undefeated, 6-0 in the Peyton Breeze era. So for me, I'm going to take the home team, the team that I've picked all year long. I'm not going to deviate from that pick. I've had the Saints all year long. I'm going to continue to pick the Saints. I think the Saints winning a close one, somewhere like 27-24, 27-23.
And I definitely got to respect you being on that train since about week 5 or week 6 when you first officially jumped on that train, and you are riding it to the very end. But I think this weekend is the end of that train, Mr. Hatton. I really like what the Rams did against the Cowboys. I think if they can duplicate what they did, even close to that, I just don't think the Saints have the defensive power to compete with the Saints offense right now.
I'm going to be honest. It honestly scares me, and it's not really even so much the defense, because we know what the New Orleans Saints has been all year long, and that's been able to score points. But they haven't been able to score points, so now it just amplifies how wishy-washy they are on defense. Now that the offense really hasn't been scoring at the insane clip that they were scoring at the beginning of the year.
Right. And I'm definitely on board with you 100%. And I'm going to use every reason why you said the Saints are going to win, but I'm going to use those same exact reasons and tell you why the Rams are going to win this game. So we both had the same exact points. It's just we're on opposite sides of the fence here. I think the Rams have finally found their stride again, back from when they played the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 9 in that thriller of a game. And I think they're going to finally find that stride again and kind of give us all the Super Bowl that we wanted back in Week 9, and that was a Rams versus the Chiefs. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad if the Saints won either, because
So you're picking the Rams?
I am picking the Rams.
I wanted to lean that way. I'm just not. I don't know. I don't know how Sean McVay is going to react in such a pressure situation. So for that, I go the home team, the team that has the most experience.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that, and they don't lose at home in the dome in the playoffs.
Right.
I don't know. This is. Let me ask you a question, Mike, because I've seen this floating around as well. If Drew Brees win another Super Bowl, has he now overtaken the Aaron Rodgers? I think everybody just automatically give it to Aaron Rodgers as he's the the greatest quarterback ever.
Right.
Not named Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Brees win another Super Bowl here. He has to jump Rodgers, right?
Well, see, I don't mean. I think as far if you talk stats, yes, I think Brees has to jump Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, it is kind of like who has done the most with the least type of thing, and I want to say Aaron Rodgers has he can still elevate a team to be great, even when they are picked, not to do great or be horrible, but on that same hand, just like we all said earlier, this season back in August, we think the Packers are a possible Super Bowl team, and where are they at now? They didn't even make the playoffs. So, with all that being said, I think we have to go with Brees as being better than Aaron Rodgers, even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl. Let's just say he gets his team to the Super Bowl and they lose to the Patriots. I think you have to put Brees over Aaron Rodgers at that point.
Yeah, I'm there. I think I'm already putting Brees over there, especially if he gets to another Super Bowl and he definitely wins it, for sure.
Yeah.
I just think since Aaron Rodgers' last Super Bowl win, he just really hasn't been impressive. And it's not that if to say that he hasn't had the weapons on offense in order to make things happen, and he still has missed the playoffs, or he still has a subpar record in the postseason. I wouldn't say he's overrated, but I will say I think people overrate the things that he does because of his talent rather than what he does actually on the football field as far as winning. We already know how great of a talent Aaron Rodgers is, throwing the football, but I don't know if that necessarily directly translate over to win. He's had a good roster.
Very good roster. Regardless
of what happened this year with Mike McCarthy, he's had a really good roster. He had Aaron Jones with over five yards per carry average out of your running back. You have a Pro Bowl receiver in Devontae Adams. You had Randall Cobb. You had Jimmy Graham. It's not as if he just got scrubs on offense. He has guys that have produced in this league. So, and he falls short every year, but we blame other people.
Exactly. So that's exactly where I was going to go, just like that. But as you started to talk, I took down some notes here, and and it seems like, we bash other quarterbacks so hard. Like, take Cam Newton for example. We bash him so hard for the Panthers being bad, but Aaron Rodgers can do the same exact thing, and then we can all say, well, he doesn't have a good receiving core. Oh, he's beefing with the head coach. So it seems like Aaron Rodgers always has an asterisk by his name. So he can do great, and we will praise him till the end of time, but his team has a bad year, or he has a bad year. You can say, well, he got injured. Well, he's beefing with the head coach. Oh, well, he only has one star receiver, and you can't say that about Brees because it always seems like Drew Brees has at least above average years versus the rest of the league. He is consistently.
And he really hasn't had great talent, really. If you look at those New Orleans teams, he really hasn't had big name guys on that team.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't even care about Michael Thomas probably if he wasn't playing with Drew Brees. So I'm not sure how many more excuses we're going to give Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and
to your Cam point, Cam has never really had a true number one. And even with Kelvin Benjamin, Kelvin Benjamin wasn't really a number one receiver, and I can say that. Being a Florida State fan, watching Kelvin Benjamin, yes, he was a good receiver, but he was nothing more than a big play receiver, which is the same what he was at Florida State. Rashard Green was the number one receiver for Florida State and Jameis Winston that year, and Kelvin Benjamin was just the big play target. So Cam Newton really never even had a great receiver, and here we are, criticizing him, poke holes to his game, and we make excuses for Aaron Rodgers. The defense was bad. Oh, the cornerback gave up this. Oh, it's Ty Montgomery.
Exactly.
Oh, it's, Mike McCarthy's play calling. This running back didn't do this, and it's always something with him. And I don't think that's characteristics of a great leader. And quite frankly, I don't think that when that don't equal winning, I don't care about how good your talent is. I don't care about the upside and all that other stuff. I care about what's producing on the field.
Yeah,
and I don't think he does that enough as far as wins and losses.
Those are great points. And come to think of it, the more I sit back and think about this, I think we can put Drew Brees as a number 2 right now. I don't think he has to win a Super Bowl. I don't think he has to make it to the Super Bowl. Looking at his career as a whole, I think you can pencil him at number 2 right now, right behind Tom Brady.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
All right, so we kind of got off in that rabbit hole there, but it is all good because it is RTF Sports Talk, and we do what we want half the time. So moving on to the final championship game, you had the AFC championship game. Many people call this week back that the game back in Week 6 when it first happened here. You had the New England Patriots take on the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Going to be 7 degrees there on Sunday night. So Billy, who is your X factor in this game?
I think, and this is probably going to sound like a cop-out answer because it's the easiest answer. I could go with a litany of people, but I think the X factor for this game has to be Patrick Mahomes. And I say Patrick Mahomes just because this is his first time in a AFC Championship game. Right. This is the first time for the Chiefs hosting an AFC Championship game, and it just happened to be against Tom Brady. A guy who's won 5 Super Bowls, who's been to 8 Super Bowls. He's been the only model of consistency in the AFC. So I think if you're going to beat the Patriots.
All right, and I think we lost Mr. Billy Hatton there. So I'm going to start with my X factor here, and my X factor is I'm kind of going to go out on a limb here, and then I'm going to say Kelvin Benjamin is going to be the X factor in this game. Yes, he did not make any catches in the previous game, and he hasn't played a whole lot. But I think with the Patriots wanting to take away the deep threats of Tyreek Hill, take take away Travis Kelce, at that point, you really don't have a lot of receivers. Yes, you have Sammy Watkins is finally back, but at the same time, look for Kelvin Benjamin to possibly be the X factor in in this game. I basically, because the Chiefs haven't utilized his big body in the game yet, and the Patriots are not prepped for that. So it sounds like we do have Billy back on the line here. So Billy, who is your X factor to? I believe you're saying Patrick Mahomes was your X factor.
Yes, I think Patrick Mahomes has to be the X factor. That's the only way that you're going to beat Brady, Belichick in the postseason, and that's great quarterback play. I think anything short of that, the Kansas City Chiefs will be watching the Super Bowl. So I think you have to have a good game out of your best player, I guess you can say, outside of Tyreek Hill, but you have to have great quarterback play. He has to be able to do what he did in Foxborough in Week 8 or Week 9, whenever they played, but he can't start off as slow as he did.
Right.
He has to come out from the jump being the Patrick Mahomes, the 50 touchdowns, the 5,000-yard passer that we've seen, not the Patrick Mahomes that we saw in the first half of every big game that he played this year.
Yeah.
So I think Patrick Mahomes definitely has to be that starter.
Yeah, and just to add to your point about when the Chiefs and Patriots played earlier this season, the Chiefs' defense at that point was the worst defense in the NFL by far. They had starters out. They had, I am not trying to put an excuse out there because their defense is just horrible. I think Sutton, their defensive coordinator, the bend don't break philosophy has kind of failed the Kansas City Chiefs because they are a team that needs to get after the quarterback, so those corners don't have to cover for 5 or 6 seconds every play, because that is obviously their weakness point right now. But with the addition of Eric Berry back this week and D Ford, Houston, he is healthy, so this is going to be a totally different game. So the Chiefs' defense is definitely a another strong point to watch this weekend as well. Sorry, excuse me.
That was going to be my other X factor. I think that defense is for sure, obviously, the main focal point. And if they're going to get it done, just like they need Patrick Mahomes, they need that defense to step up big.
Yeah.
They're going to need D Ford, and they're going to need Houston to get after Brady all night. They're going to need to be able to stop the run, because in freezing temperatures, I think that's just going to play right into what New England wants to do anyway, and that's run the football. Eat the clock up, and if they're allowed to do that from jump, it can be a long night.
And so let's just jump right into it, Billy. Who do you have winning the game and why?
Another one. This is probably my first week actually having this much trouble picking a game. And both games was tough because either team could be beat. It's not like one has the advantage over the other, really. I know all the stats out there for Tom Brady when he's playing in, below freezing temperatures. He got all the accolades, 13-2, and all this other stuff. Or below freezing temperatures in sub 30 degrees, he's 24-1. He's 5-1, in sub 20 degrees. They always like to make up these stats for Tom Brady. They kind of make him seem a little bit, over the top than what he is. But I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they are the better team, unlike what the Chargers did last week. I think the Chiefs will capitalize because I think they have a more dynamic offense. I don't think they have to force the ball down the field in order to be successful, because that is their game. I came on here on Monday last week and said, or this week and said, when I looked at that Chargers offense, it seemed to me that their main thing was, we know the cornerbacks or the DBs is weak for New England, so let's just go deep. Everybody just go deep, and Phillip Rivers is going to throw it to you and hope that we make a play. Well, that's what Kansas City do best.
Exactly.
They can throw the long ball. That's what they're looking for, and they can also check it down. So I'm going to go with the home team here, getting hosting their first AFC championship game, winning their first AFC championship game at home. Give me the Chiefs. I think they win 42-37.
There you go. That's a great pick. And this game is going to be hard for me to pick because, I mean, obviously Kansas City, they are my boys. They're my hometown team, and I've been rooting for them all year. I've been rooting them for 30-plus years of my wonderful life here. And you know, I have never seen them make it to a Super Bowl. And I've never seen them win a AFC championship game. I've seen them win a few playoff games. When I say few, I'm talking like 2 or 3. So, I mean, history, like winning, is really not on the side of the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And for some reason, you just cannot root against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick in the month of January. It seems like they never lose. And if they happen to lose, it is usually in the Super Bowl in February. But with all that being said, I am taking my head out of this pick. I'm picking solely on my heart. I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game because they're my team. No other explanation needed because they are my Kansas City Chiefs. Taking my head out, using my heart, picking the Chiefs.
Well, Mike, you didn't really have to do much soul searching here, and you know, as I just stated, both teams could win this game, and we know what Brady does in the playoffs. It's Brady, but Brady also doesn't play well in the playoffs away from Foxborough.
True.
You know,
very true.
These last 5 road games, he's 1-4 in the playoffs. 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So I think if you have anything on your side, is that everybody can play good when they're playing at home. And guess who's playing at home?
Exactly.
The Kansas City Chiefs. And Brady doesn't play well on the road, which normally typical. That's normally how it works. It's hard to go into somebody else's house in the playoffs and beat. That's tough to do. So if you have anything on your side, is well, Brady hasn't really been exactly, you know, stellar in road playoff games. And Arrowhead will be rocking today. You said it the other day. The boys will be lit. They're probably already starting to tailgate, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they're going to be fired up. So if you have anything on your side, is Brady doesn't play well at home, and the home teams has really fared out really well in this playoff outside of the Colts beating the Texans.
Yeah.
And wild card weekend was really the only week that we seen destruction or I guess turnover. The Baltimore lost, Texans lost, Bears lost. Outside of that, we haven't seen the home team, you know, lose. So with that being said, I think the Kansas City Chiefs is a very good pick, and I think they're going to jump out to a lead, and I think they're going to get to the Super Bowl.
And just to add to your statement previous there, I think every team that was supposed to win in the postseason has won so far. I mean, minus the Colts and the Houston game, I think every team that has been favored has won the game. So, like the Chargers obviously beat the Baltimore because they're, you know, I feel like the Baltimore really shouldn't even been in the playoffs, but that's a story for a different game here. But as a overall fan of the NFL, Mr. Hatton, who would be your ideal Super Bowl? Mine. Like if the Saints beat the Rams, I want the Patriots to beat the Chiefs because I think a Saints Patriots Super Bowl would be fun to watch, and then I think a Rams Chiefs Super Bowl to watch. If we have any other mixing and matching like of those teams, I don't think the Super Bowl will have quite as much like hype as it was if it were those two games. What are your thoughts on that? Are you on mute?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Although I hate Tom Brady, I would love to see a Drew Brees, Tom Brady Super Bowl, Bill Belichick versus Sean Payton, the two veteran guys, the guys that's been doing it for a long time. I also wouldn't mind seeing, Rams get there. I just want to see a good game regardless of what teams get there. I don't want to see a blowout. I don't want to see a defensive matchup where it's literally like 10 to 7 the whole entire game and nobody can get it going. But I also don't want to see a 60 the 50 game. Like I want to see a good game.
Right.
So regardless of what team that is, and I think Belichick will be better served for that because his defense is always the classic bend but never break. I would like to see Drew Brees and Tom Brady go after it.
So just give me a quick.
We've seen Drew and Peyton. I would like to see Drew and Tom.
Exactly. I mean, so on the outside looking in, like any matchup of these four teams, I think any Super Bowl will be a great Super Bowl to watch. Do you agree with that? Yes or no?
Yeah, I agree. I think any four combinations that we could put together, I think either way we get a good Super Bowl.
All right, guys. So that will be it for RTF Sports Talk. Just to recap, Billy has the Saints winning. Myself, Michael, has the Rams winning that first game, and then we both have Kansas City winning the second game. So we both have Chiefs in the playoffs, and basically it comes down to the Rams Saints. So be sure to comment down below who you guys think will win. Thanks for joining us, Billy. Closing thoughts.
Go Noles, as always. Let's do something, Mike. Listen. I know we are a long ways away from college football, but I'm just so amped to see what happens next year, what transpires. Next year is going to be a good year. As we talked yesterday, we could be getting a Kyler, a Tua, Jalen matchup. I'm stoked to see what could happen. Football season is winding down. College basketball is really finna start picking up. Everybody's finna get into conference play, and March Madness will be right around the corner. So I'm excited to be a sports fan.
Yeah, and just to add to your college football thing here, I am a big Kansas State fan, as most of you guys know. They sent out a tweet yesterday, and it's only 87 days until spring game, so it's not that far away.
When you say it like that, it don't make it seem like it's so far away, even though it's far away.
We still have to get through the month of January, February, and most of March. So
yeah, it seems so far away, man.
All right, guys. With all that being said, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. We out.